This is Michael. We're gonna go and prep up and get our handlebars, plastic molding and that stuff on there, so we can see how much slack we have to work with before we actually go and start doing a one-time drill. We don't want that. Okay, so here we go. This goes on here like this. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna go ahead and lightly mount the brakes back on there, but we're gonna go ahead and just change the cable now from the PWK one. And how you break this cable here is very simple. Put this away here. So you're gonna grip it. You're gonna need a 10mm socket. We're gonna go and move that out right there. I think I pre-loosened it already, but if you don't have it pre-loose, you can get like something to hold it. This one you might want to put something to help you prevent it from. See if I can get a good angle here. See me take it off. Oh. There we go. This one's straight. So we're gonna take this guy off here. This is pretty much how it loops. So if you have a housing, you want to put it on first. You should do that before it's hung up. You want to get something to hold this. You can use a shop rag. Just hold it like this. Kind of clamp on it. Prevent it from putting marks. You want to keep your stuff there. Just want to. There we go. Now it's held in place because you don't have any more leverage. I believe it's 10mm. It could be 14. Yeah, it's gonna be a 14. Sorry. There we go. It's gonna be a 14 socket. Just gonna loose it there. Lefty loosey. That's where throws in there. That's the lock nut. Take this back off. There we go. And then you might have to twist this like this round the ways. You can see it's probably gonna come out with the whole thing. You can see it's already taking a dive a little bit. See that it's soaking in. So you can just twist this around like that. Now it would probably be easier mounted on here without this, but we need to know exactly how this is actually going to force the wrist, and then just come through here through a loop. But we still need to put this in there because you don't want to end up mounting it and then having to put this afterwards, and you have to redo everything again. So we're going to bring our PWK cable and we're going to put it through here. So let me go and get that PWK cable. Somewhere. Might have it somewhere here. Okay, here's my PWK cable. There we go. See, I wound it up back in the data package. Okay, with the PWK, you have several cable adjustments. If you ever need more attention on the cable, so the adjustments are located right here, and there's a lock nut for that adjustment right there. See there? And then you also have the adjustment onto near the handlebar area, which the one we're actually about to screw back in like this. And we're going to run it exactly like this one has it. So let me go ahead and run this nice thicker glue. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and run it nicely through here. See, there's a plastic covering already for it. That was used for the other one, but we're going to go and transfer that plastic covering onto this one as soon as I get this guy in here. Loop them the same way as our original CVK cable. I'm going to try to anyways. Let me go underneath here. Scared my ground wire. So there we go. Come back looped. As soon as we get this guy in here, we can. There we go. It's so much easier when you have everything off. You can see what you have to actually remove. So let's go and get this guy back off. go. We might not need the wiring, so we can always put that afterwards, not a big deal. But just want to make sure we route the cable where it's supposed to be back. So you can see here, you also have adjustment here as well. So you have adjustment here as well. Again, the ends are going to be the same. We have to change it because the other end is for a smaller needle for the PWK one. So you can take this all the way in more if you want to. That'll free up some slack. And then you can get ready for this guy here. Now you can see it has a little nylon right here ready. So you could use more, you know, lubing put on there. But I think the nylon should do it pretty well. But you can though. You can put a little bit more on this end. Some lube. Some cable lube. Or just something grease. I'll just keep this one dry because that nylon right there is pretty good. I can always drop some oil on it afterwards. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and put that guy back into here. It's going to come and sit. And we're going to face a certain direction after this gets screwed in. Oh, sorry, I'm putting the old one in. Oh. Going back there, you can see how it fits right there. The whole thing comes out, so you're not going to be able to squeeze the cable out of these little holes there. That's what it's for. So this has a little nylon too. So same ends for this side. That way we can see how it bends. It's going in. You don't have to lock it down right now, that way you can flex around, but see here, we might need to face it the other way, who knows, so we'll keep it loose so that way we can flex this either in like this, or maybe it should be out like that, we'll see. Okay, so that wasn't hard, but what we forgot to do was put the plastic housing. That's why we gotta get the plastic housing back on there. Go through the plastic housing.
Hey, voilà.
So here we go.
Call Dr. Dow.
Alright, so here we go. We're going to go lift this up. Alright, so we got the plastic housing here. This is what we've got. We have to loop it through here to make sure it's going to be there. So we're going to go ahead and take this one back off. And we're going to loop it back in that one. Yeah, that's why you can always do it afterwards too, but we need to loop it back to really get a good fitment to see where it's actually going to bolt onto. We're going to bolt it onto with our Allen bolts. See how everything will work. There we go. We can start pulling this guy out here. It's no longer if we need it. Out of the way for a second. Okay, he's out of the way now. All right.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Okay, so we're gonna go and put that through here, and then we're gonna be able to. You can always twist this around once you get in there. Kind of wiggle with the bolts. You know the bolt's pretty big. Probably another challenge here. But yeah, maybe get in a little bit more before I go through here. Oh man, I guess this bolt was a little bit smaller. Let's see. They look like about the same size. Oh, you know what it is? I think it's looser. So we gotta take it all the way out. That way it can flex off the thread. Lay a little bit more flatter. Also, I was told that the cam chain tensioner, I probably need to put it in there even though it seems very loose. Because your engine does funny things once that, there it goes. See, now it's popped in. Okay, and then we can go and screw that onto here. So that's how you would take out your PWK or CVK and change, or just pretty much change out your throttle cable on the handlebar end. So this thing is almost the size of a big, huge, almost bigger than a valve stem. This thread here. take it all the way as much as we can before it locks up on us. I think it is locking up on us. There we go. Okay, you're gonna use this lock nut so it can't back itself out too much there. So just depending where we want it to. Let's see up there. Okay, we won't actually put the thread in there now. Maybe we can. Let's see how everything goes first. Okay, we're gonna go and start the mounting onto the handlebar. And let's bring this guy up here. First, I'm gonna just mount these guys in there first. Going to be mounted. You can see here I have to make sure I have enough slack for my brake lever, but also for my switch. So let's go mount the brake lever on there first, hold that in place, and we have the bracket for it. Brake lever is going to be a little bit bigger. Just take 2 of these big bolts. It's going to be loose right now because we don't have a washer, which is fine. We're just wanting to put it on there. Do this with the Allen bolts that we found for it. I think this one might be the same Allen bolt. The other one's going to be smaller, that's for our controller. Oh, this one goes up. It tells you direction too. See there? I'm putting it down with the up part. That's good to know. That's up right there. See, it has an indicator. Goes up. Because it grips at a certain angle. We're not really tightening it down. We're just wanting to make sure it's on there. That way we can adjust and move it. It's almost tight. So you can see I can't go anymore because this right here hits this part. So there's a lot of limitations here that we have to look out for. Just get that snug but not tight. It's still a lot loose, so we could probably put a washer or a lock nut. So I don't think I can actually tighten it anyway without the little extra washer, because I think this Allen one is actually longer than the original, so that's why it still can push out a little bit like this, so it's not really as tight. So we're probably gonna have to put a lock wash on this Allen one. Okay, we got that in there. Just kind of lay it loose. So you like tighten this without that lock washer, it's not gonna really tighten. Still move it. See, that's almost actually tightening all the way down. So we're gonna probably have to put a lock washer in there, create a little bit more gap in the bolt. Okay, now we're gonna go and put our controller. Controller comes this way, and then the main part that we're looking out for is to see how far. But this again doesn't tell us much until we actually put this housing, because this housing needs to be able to close as well. So we see that the housing won't let it close until we move this a little bit more. Then we know we can't just probe the hole anywhere. But it's getting there. You can see here. Let me get the back plate of this one. I believe it's down here. this is the back plate. So here we come. What I'm going to do is going to mount this here. This is the back plate. See that where the hole is protruding? Little teeth here. So it comes in like this, and just depending, you can see here it barely squeezes into the brake area. It won't let us all the way because see it hits the back of this. So there's so many ops tracks here that we have to look out for. But the teeth should actually probe. You can see there's a teeth mark. So this teeth would normally been like right up there. You can see how it comes curved a little bit more. So this kind of curves in, allowing it to slide in like that. But again, the teeth is not holed yet because we want to ensure for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mount this, dry mount this again. And then we're going to see how far when I close it from the switch here. And then we're going to put our throttle in there. Shove this guy in there. Close it up. Then we're going to put our plastic housing over it. And then we're going to see how much lag room then we're going to figure out a way to mark it. Well, we have it clamshell, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. But we'll get that to work. So here we go. And that one, we also have Allen bolts for those ready to go too. And I don't think it needs a washer, it will secure. Okay. Well, see if I can set this a little bit more. That way you guys see eye level. See if I can even wear the camera. Got a thick jacket here. That way you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing. Like a helmet, sort of. There we go. Not bad. I think this might work. Okay, so what we're going to do now is try to go and get the right Allen bolt to mount it. I think it's going to take these smaller ones, thinner ones. Just need 2 of them. We might put washers in these too, we'll see. Then it's going to need the silver one right here. Let's go ahead and do a dry mount on that one. Bring this guy up here. Base him correctly. Figure out which way is which way. Don't want to cross tangle the wires. Okay, so now we know there's no hole here, so we can't really just mount it. But we're just going to go and tuck this in here like this. In fact, we can probably even hook up our throttle. See, now I'm not having any slack here. Let me see if I can try to free up from the carburetor end. Yeah, the carburetor has some slack here. It might be easier to unscrew this just to see the cabling. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Unscrewing this here to see the cabling. Now it's going to be tight because this is expanding the cable. There you go, you see the cabling there. So yeah, I'll have to free it in as much as possible to be able to pull on it. It would be nicer if the carburetor wasn't attached for right now. We'll probably have to take that end off. We're going to go and fit our throttle in there. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. Take it off from the other end. just so we can fit our guy in there. We might not have to do a dry fit, but we really want to see how it pulls and tugs. So let me see if I can get most of it. That I can just have something hold on to this, put a little rubber, keep the diaphragm open. And let me see if I can get something a little bit more flexible. Hard but flexible. There we go, this might work. It's squeezing it. Look at that. That's how strong that is. Okay, so I need something a little bit harder. Just gotta jam it in there. This might. Something a little bit more, not damaging. My lighter there. Okay, so we're gonna pull the cable. Give it the slack. We're just gonna put our lighter here. That way it can't close on our lighter at least, right? We can even use a taller position of the lighter. There we go. So it's kind of stuck in there now. That'll free us up some cable slack here. So we can go ahead and move it in a little bit more. So we got that freed out much as we can there. And let's see if we can drag it from this end now. Both hands here, it'll be easier for me. Okay, so we're trying to get more cable slack there. Probably just grab it. So regular needle nose will be fine. So I'm trying to fish it out a little bit. Looks like it's wanting to come. So let me screw this in more. Get much slack as I possibly can. Try to fish this cable out a little bit more. There we go. There we go. I wedged them out. See there? Now we gotta grip them. Push them out of here. Okay, there we go. That's all the slack we're given. Oh no, my lighter fell off because I tugged on this. So I'm gonna go and tug it some more on this end and put my lighter back into my thing so I'll lock it. Oh, not yet. That. There we go. All right, now the lighter is back on there. Now it fell off because I tugged on it. Gave it the slack for it to push off of it. Okay, now we can go ahead and assemble it up there. All right. This, as you can see here, we're gonna. I think I could probably do it, or I have to actually meet it in here a little bit. What you do is just probe onto here. A little slot it goes in. Only goes one-sided, so gotta make it work. See here, I'm trying to probe it there. So we need to push it in. So we get a piece of plier we want to and just kind of squeeze it some more. There's the thing of letting us have some slack. Oh, careful. You don't want to flex this in too much where it's not bending in. You do want it to come out the other end. See, in there now, flushed and ready to twine. So it's a split in the middle. Once you get that in there, you can have it. It'll be resting, just depending. Might be resting this way. So when you pull on your throttle, it curves it around more. So this cable needs to rest a certain where from. Yep, this like. Let's go and get that rested properly. See here, still has that force here, so should go smoothly. Right now it's kind of crunched up to the top, but we need to have it drag. There you go. There we go. Now it's dragged to the bottom. And that's it. That will be the one that holds. Now you can't put the NCY in the same housing, unfortunately, because the NCY one, the aluminum, is way bigger where the ports of the cables are. That trick I was told to actually get the sleeve in here really easy. Just take an air compressor if you have one, shoot it, and you'll be able to glide it. You only have to do it for this side. This one usually is made to be a little bit more looser because so the throttle can work. Okay, so we're going to put that guy in there. Then we're going to put his top one back on. And then we're going to mount him. See where we're going to need to drill that hole. We'll do it for both sides complete first because we want to make sure it's not shifting. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the top. We can flex this a little bit in to where it needs to go. See, this one right here needs to go a little further out and coming in like this. Cabling of this is going to be one tricky guy. Again, that's why we left this open so we can flex on a certain direction it needs to be. So, get this guy back in. See how this will flex out. It might flex out like this. Okay, let's go and get this guy mounted. Close him up. I'm going to get this guy out of the way for a second. I can see the back screw area. Yep, that is it. So it's not going to let us close it thoroughly until we actually get an idea. But we're just going to keep the teeth kind of clinged on there. And then when we actually move it, we'll maybe drive it in a little bit. Maybe hopefully we'll put a marker onto that JB weld. Right. Get snug, but not all the way. There it goes. Still lets us screw it in because it's a pretty long screw. There it goes. Can move it, flex it, and we're really ready. Maybe this will actually give us the mark that we're looking for, but we'll see. I don't want to put too much pressure here because I don't want to put marks yet. I'm waiting for the perfect area to actually slide in and mark it. You can see here how much slack I really have after it's been mounted. You can see there. It's actually pretty good. We were able to shove it in more. Last time it was more like a centimeter. It wouldn't even let us go all the way in, so this is really good. Let's see if I can drive it in. Only because I'm able to move out of that mark. So when we create that mark, this might go in perfectly once it hit the teeth mark. But we'll see. We'll see. See, this usually has to stay up a little bit for it to go in and even more. But yeah, this is really ideal right here. This is really where I want to mark it at. I want this metal to actually protrude out. That way the bar end mirrors will have more of a grip onto the metal part versus what it didn't have before. But then we're going to find out again if the other side's going to let us. So let me go and just tighten this a little bit, even though the teeth don't over tighten because the teeth doesn't have a hole to fall into yet. You don't want to put pressure on the teeth. Okay, so this is good. It's tightening. But again, it's actually coming forward too, so we really want to tilt this back a little bit. And we want to tilt this guy back a little bit because the idea, first of all, we're back in the same position because this thing is still pointing forward. We want to lay low a little bit, lay back a little bit like this, so that way the mirror, once it's mounted, we can see here. And we're going to put some probably blue or red Loctite really, because you probably had that problem with the mirror always coming forward to you. So this is 8mm thread. You can always screw it in. Or it's a 10mm screwed into 8mm. But there you go. Now it's coming together. See that right there? Actually not bad. This is laying a little bit better. But let's see. The idea is to be able to see up about us. We'll see. I mean, then the throttle pulls. Oh shit, like that. It's pulling the lighter. Alright, so that would have been there. I'm not sure now. Let's go ahead and take this back off here. Lighter off, get some loose slack. There we go. Alright, see there? Pulls the throttle. You can see here a throttle. Now another thing is you want to make sure your throttle pulls all the way up like this, see? So my throttle does pull all the way up, clean and clear, see? Let me put in a cardboard so you can see it. Okay, you ready? Watch. Pull throttle here, turn it all the way. When I turn it all the way, it's all the way open. Let it go down. It's perfect. That's what you want. You want to be able to get the throttle turned in like that. So what I'm going to do is assemble the other side the same way. And then we're going to go ahead and mount this guy. Or he comes forward. It's going to be a little bit hard. You got to do some flexing sort of. Don't want to break these plastic. Need to move this guy a little bit out here. That's why I didn't bolt this on yet, so I can actually play around with his wiggle space. And we're going to see where this guy is supposed to be mounted at, or what's the best position. And then we're going to pre-drill our hole to lock in that teeth, so that way it'll never come. Unfortunately, there's nothing I could do.